And we are live. Playoff puck time. It is Friday, guys. Carmine Bianco from WagerTalk.com. A couple games up in the NHL, and Brian Leonard stepping into the co-hosting chair to help me discuss these couple of games. And we will have a pod play as well, too. Brian, first off, it looks like the Carolina Hurricanes don't plan on losing any games anytime soon. 7-0 in the NHL playoffs after that easy win. And I had a 4% play on them last night in regulation on Carolina. I figured that was the right way to go. They didn't disappoint. Man, these guys are looking pretty good.
I'm trying to text here with Don Buster, and I wasn't paying attention to what you were saying. I'm sorry. He can't even get near a computer right now, so he's back in the hospital. So hopefully, best of luck to Buster. Sorry you're not here today, but there's more important things for you than to be on the hockey show with a couple of guys wearing gray.
Yeah, he's good. Hopefully they take care of him, get him in and out so he can watch his mighty Habs tonight in the NHL. But I was talking about the Carolina Hurricanes and that performance last night. They just, once again, the Flyers tried to be physical. It didn't work. They tried to be very physical at the end of the game. It didn't work. The Canes just seem to be rolling right now. It's one of those ones where the question before we get into today's games, which is the Canadiens and Sabres and Anaheim and Vegas, is the question is, at this point, does Rod Brind'Amour for game 4, does he come back with Freddie Anderson or does he give him a day off? There's two lines of thinking. He's played 7 games, probably needs a rest, or you can look at it that if we win in game 4, he's going to get the necessary rest anyways.
Yeah, I would think at this point that, they're already up 3-0. If they finish them off the next game, they're going to have, if the Buffalo game series goes, 7 games? That's a long break in between. I don't know what he's going to do. Teams that are down 3-0 usually do not fare well. A lot of times, if it's the lesser team, I expect them to throw in the towel. Yesterday's game, I didn't have anything. I passed the entire day. But I thought if there was any game Philadelphia was going to win, it would be yesterday. And they didn't. So I highly doubt they come back and do much in this series. So, I don't think what Carolina does here is going to make a difference. Philadelphia just hasn't shown enough offense for them to worry about.
Yeah, and with that series being 3-0, Ralph Michaels had given us a stat that's applicable, obviously, to this series that continues on the weekend on Saturday. But away teams like Carolina, who are up 3-0 in the series, when they're favorites of -130 or more, are 9-6. Not a huge number, not a glaring number, but still a winning record. But you might be pretty much equal on units just because of the fact that you're only 3 games over, and if you're laying 160, 170 in VIG, you're basically breaking even with a 9-6 record. But 2-0 last year in the NHL with teams on the road looking to close it out in 4. So we'll see whether what the plan is for Brind'Amour. But I think right now he probably just doesn't want to lose any momentum with that team. They just look good right now. Get in, get out of Philly. I don't think they're thinking about, hey, we still have game 5 at home. The gentleman's handshake. They could care less, I think. Brian, agree?
Yeah, I agree. They got to prepare for the next series, and that gives them extra time. So what we'll need to worry about, regardless if it's Montreal or Buffalo, is the rest versus rust situation when those teams get together. If it goes 7 games, I'm still going to fade the team that won in 7. So I'll take Carolina, but If it goes to 6 or less, then maybe the Montreal Buffalo series winners got an advantage. We'll have to see how it works out. It all depends on what kind of lines we see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. But speaking of the Montreal and Buffalo Sabres, you've got the Sabres minus 134, pretty much almost an identical price to game one. The Canadiens plus 111. The total sits here 5.5. Obviously, shaded to the over minus 125. And Brian, I got to get your thoughts on this one first, and then I'll if I agree with you, I'll just give you the old ditto, or we'll bounce this one back and forth. But give us your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, we talked about this before game one. I'd asked both yourself and Buster who the better team was, and I think we pretty much came to the conclusion that Buffalo is a slightly better team playing at home, and Montreal off of the last series, knocking off Tampa Bay. You call it, I forgot what you call it. It's just the situation where they're going to bounce down or whatever, or I don't know what the correct wording of it is, but and it happened. Is Buffalo takes off early and often in the first period, never was in trouble of losing that game, and we're getting the same type of line here. So to me, the value is on Montreal. The question is, how do you play it? Do you like Montreal in the entire game, or do you like Montreal in the first period? Now, you're going to get a little less if you play Montreal in the first period, but you have to think the way that game went, that it's paramount for Montreal not to fall behind by multiple goals in the first period again, because I don't know if they have the ability to come back in that situation. Buffalo's got some great goaltending. So I don't know. I didn't see it then, and I don't see it now. Montreal, if they're going to compete, they've got to get out early and at least leave the first period tied. They can't afford to be behind. So I kind of like Montreal in the first period. I like Montreal in the game. For a total perspective, I really don't have anything from the total side, but Buffalo's a great team. Montreal is a team that has proven that they can win on the road. They've been very good on the road in these playoffs. And so, I think we get a nice bounce back here from Montreal, whether it be the full game or the first period. I'm going to try to figure out a way to play each of those at the best number possible.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing facing the Canadiens is running into a hot goalie, much like Jakub Dobej has been for the Montreal Canadiens, and especially in that series against the Tampa Bay Lightning. But you look at what Alex Lyon's done since coming into it. He's played 6 games. He's got 4 wins. His goals against average is 1.3, and his save percentage is 0.950. Those are elite numbers over a 6-game sample size. So this is the thing, is that if the Sabres start to click, and this is putting bias aside, if the Sabres start to click in that power play, like that did show up finally in game 1, continues to show up in game 2, this is a game where the Canadiens don't want to get into any penalty trouble against the Sabres, or they make them pay for it. If you watch Canadian games, and this is why I enjoy watching Montreal games, in the offensive zone, they move that puck around so quickly because they're hoping to pull a defenseman or a forward out of their lane where they can get a clear shot at the net and somebody in front to get to it. The Sabres didn't do that in game 1. They stayed in their lanes in their defensive zone. But that's the thing that with the Montreal Canadiens, they move that puck around so quickly and make so many passes in that O zone. They're just hoping that some guy misses an assignment and they score off of it. And it worked against the Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm not necessarily sure it's going to work against the Sabres unless they fall into trouble. I did say I wanted to take the game 1 loser in game 2, but I think I'm gonna attack this game a little differently, and we'll talk about it in the pod. But this is one in which I think I'm just going to be watching as a fan of hockey and a fan of the Sabres as well, to see how these teams play, because I expect Montreal, Brian, that Marty St. Louis can make those changes, and I have to believe he's gonna make the adjustments to make the Canadiens that much better tonight. So if it's enough to get him over the line, I'm not entirely sure. Any rebuttals?
You mentioned the Buffalo goaltending, and you weren't lying. That's my dad joke of the day.
There you go.
But to me, you throw out what happened in game one. So much of these series has come down to the preparation. And when you got a Montreal team that goes into Tampa, pulls off the big upset, they hadn't been in the playoffs in a long time. You kind of saw that happening in game one. Now they're settled in a little bit, and I say, okay, well, we got that out of our system. Let's go back. And so I'm just kind of treating this somewhat as if this was a game one, and I think the line's a little bit high in that regard for the game one. And now that they're pretty much even, and plus with the loss situation for Montreal, I'm leaning that way. Would have liked to have gotten more? Sure, maybe as the day goes on, you will. I'm seeing, Circa in Vegas has got a plus 119, Superbook in Vegas 123. You're not getting that those lines at other places, but still, those are pretty good bets for me. I might have to use one of those apps and get that one in here. They're showing that being the highest ones out there. Now the bad part is those are two of the sharpest sports books in Vegas, and there's not there's not many of them out there anymore. But it's they're expecting the public to look at that and say, man, this Buffalo team is awesome. I don't want to fade them at this low number. I know what they're thinking. We've been doing this long enough. So they're trying to entice you to play that. But Montreal will be back in this one.
Yeah, Brian, I look at it, and this is priced perfectly, the game. And the reason for that is I think if the Sabres were 10 to 12 cents lower, people would look at it and go, wow, this is a fishy line. The books are begging you for Sabres money. And if it was Sabres in the minus 150, 55 range, everyone would be like, the value is clearly on Montreal at plus money. So it's, I think this 134 price is going to get you actually sort of going both ways. We'll see how that line moves throughout it. But we've seen teams that didn't play their best. I won't say embarrassed, but teams that didn't play their best in game one bounce back in game two and play much better games. Not all of them won. But Minnesota looked better in game two against Colorado than they did in game one. The Flyers looked very good in game two against the Canes. Unfortunately, lost it in OT, and that sort of set that series for what looks like it's going to be a sweep. So the Montreal Canadiens probably didn't play their best game off an emotional game seven. I'm going to guess, because it's all I can do at this point, that the Montreal Canadiens will play their best game tonight of these playoffs, because you don't want to go down. You don't want to go home down 2-0, all the pressures on the Canadiens at that point. So we'll see how they react. But like even some guys in the chat that make the point, the Sabres only had 16 shots on goal and still mustered 4 goals in that one.
I wanted to touch on that. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Prez was talking about that. And if you're down 3-0 in the first period or whatever it was, you're not going to have a lot of shots on goal, because this is the playoffs. They've got a great goal. They've got great goaltending. Buffalo just taking the puck, throwing it down the other end, and let the time tick off. Played great defense. That's why you don't pay attention to shots on goal. Yes, there's certain times where I guess it has some value, but it's the most overrated stat. It's like wins, losses for pitchers in Major League Baseball. Take a guy that goes 20-4. That's great. He's got a 5-run ERA. He's not a good pitcher. He just happened to be out there when the other team was hitting. So I'm not a big believer in then Montreal wins that game with 9 shots on goal. Yeah, Montreal, they take I don't know. It's when I saw that being used as an excuse, I'm thinking, come on now. We all know how the game is played. Yeah. Once a team takes a big lead early, we've seen it years and years with the Islanders when they played really good defense like that. Just up at the other end, you're not going to have it. The team behind is the one that usually at the end of the day, the team behind is the one that has more shots on goal, which is why you don't handicap by shots on goal. There's so many other things out there to do it, and yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. But hey, it's a learning experience, and I've learned it in a decade. Other guys that are starting out, it's going to take them a while to do it.
Yep, and I'll say, Bry, I've said it all year long, and even in the playoffs, it is a season like no other. So expect the unexpected. Some teams are going to win with 9 shots on goal. That's all they needed. If anyone from Tampa Bay is complaining, maybe you should have won the game instead of complaining about 9 shots on goal. So with that said, I'm going to guess there's going to be a lot more shots on goal between these two tonight. Brian, give me your thoughts. Vegas Golden Knights minus 111. It's essentially a coin flip. 109 on the Ducks. Total sits are at 6. 113 on the over. 107 on the under. Series tied at 1. Give me your thoughts.
I think the line tells you what the right side in this game is. Vegas has the far well-known players over Anaheim. Vegas was a team supposedly nobody wanted to play if they made the playoffs, and of course they did. Anaheim was a team that started the year off terrifically and faded down the stretch, and there was a point where Anaheim, a lot of people didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. And yet, the game is a pick'em in Anaheim, and Vegas is off an embarrassing loss in which they really were shut out 3-0. They got a goal late or whatever, but and that was the game that Vegas needed to come out and show something, and they didn't. And I had Anaheim in that game, and we won. I think it was plus 135. To me, that was a clear play in that one, and I think playing Anaheim here, at least for myself, is the clear play again. Normally, you take a team like Vegas, the veteran team like that, off of that loss, going on the road, they would be at least a 125 favorite. You have to think in this game, based on everything. They're not. It's a pick'em situation. Anaheim right now has dominated Vegas on the season. They won all 3 matchups in the regular season. They lost game 1 in a tight game, and they played decently well. And then they came back and took away everything Vegas wanted to do in the second game. I've been opposite of what everybody else has thought about Vegas the last part of the season, and I've been really good at picking on or off those games. And I like Anaheim here. I'm sorry if I'm a Vegas regular. I love the games, but you bet with your head and not your heart. And this is another one of those nights that I'm going to hate because I'll be watching the game with my wife, and I'm going to act like every time Vegas scores, hey, but I want Anaheim to win the game.
It's almost like the emotional hedge. You have money on Anaheim. If they win, you're happy.
There you go.
If they lose, you're least happy that the Vegas Golden Knights won, your hometown team. So I completely get it. It's one of those ones where I get it, the line, but maybe I think the Ducks are finally starting to get a little bit of respect. I think because they played 2 very good games, they made them a short price dog at home. But essentially, it's a coin flip. It'll be interesting to see how this line progresses throughout the day. But I can't see it going to any higher than, let's say, Vegas minus 120 and even money on the Ducks. That's the only way I can see it. I don't see Vegas becoming a favorite in this one, unless those 2 numbers there flip. And again, essentially, it is a coin flip. I think we'll see some more scoring. I think Vegas was a little bit better on the road throughout the season. We talked about that a lot of times during the regular season. Just didn't get it done at home the way they should have. But they had 2 very good games in Utah in the last round where they scored 3 games in Utah. They lost the first, won the last 2, and scored 5 in each one of those. So we'll see if that scoring carries forward here, Bry. But with that said, and speaking of scoring, guys, I will keep Brian on the screen as well, too. Here is the pod play for today. Yes, I am going back to the very first game we discussed, Brian, and I'm taking the over in this one. Every game thus far, and I get it, past results don't equal future results or whatever the phrase is, but 5 times these teams have met. Every single game has had at least 6 goals scored in it. 4-2 seems to be the popular score line, and that was the scoreline in game one. Jakub Dobej, again, allowed 4 goals on 16 shots. Maybe he's coming down to earth. Still an exceptional goaltender, or just maybe the Sabres play differently in the O-zone than Tampa Bay does. And conversely, I have to figure Cole Caulfield is finally going to find the net 5-on-5. He's been missing thus far in the playoffs, but he's got some power play goals, and he still completes his role there. I'm looking for Montreal to bounce back. I'm looking for the Sabres to do what they normally do, and hopefully it's enough to get us over that total. I'll be happy with 3-3 going to overtime. Brian?
3-3 in overtime would be nice. It would be very exciting. It would also take into account that my Vegas game will be starting a little bit later.
Yes. Yeah, it's continuous.
And if you're an older guy like Carmine and I, we prefer the game starting as early as possible because we need to get some sleep.
Oh man, sleep is definitely what I need. Guys, do us a favor. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, join the ever-growing community. We're almost at, I think, 248,000 subscribers. Want to get to that 250 mark, guys. It's obviously a nice, cool number to be at. 250,000 followers. Hit that subscribe button and drop a comment in the comment section. Brian, what do you got going on at WagerTalk today and this weekend?
Yeah, I passed on yesterday's card, as I mentioned. Just did not like anything. Every line I made was basically what it was. And but I'm back at full strength today. I've already put up a play in the NBA. I believe I'm 6-1 in the NBA playoffs so far. I'm not selling that to daily clients. So if you want to get it, you'd have to get the entire card for today or an extended period. I am going to have something up in the NHL, and did put up a 4% play in Major League Baseball, a game I really like, a first half total in Major League Baseball. And looking for another exciting night of sports, and was able to get out a little bit yesterday, get out of the house since I did pass on the card, and feel a little bit refreshed, as they say, going into today. So expecting a nice run in baseball on the horizon.
Awesome. Looking forward to those streaks popping up every single week. Brian Leonard on an 18-2 run. You got to love it. Quick note for another guy who's on a run, the Prez. I would be remiss if I didn't mention it. He's got a 5% play up in the NHL for tonight. He's been on a crazy run, and you can find that over on his page over at WagerTalk. For myself, a couple games this afternoon in European soccer, a couple weeks left of that as well. One play up in the NHL. It's a best bet. We cashed last night's best bet, so we'll just try and keep it running. I believe 9-3 now run in the NHL playoffs. So we'll see if we can keep that going. Brian, listen, I wish you the best of luck. And to you guys in the chat, we thank you guys for tuning in each and every day. Hit that like button and drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know who your best bet is for this evening. For myself and the rest of the WagerTalk family, guys, have a safe and prosperous weekend.